A low hum filled the engineering room deep under Earth's Space Defense Headquarters. Rows of computers blinked in soft blue, their screens idle and waiting. The night shift was quiet. Only one person sat in the corner, sipping cold coffee. Her name was Zara Mendez. She wasn't famous or important, just a systems technician, working her usual late-night shift, cleaning up code and updating archives. Everyone else had gone home. The place felt empty. Zara yawned and tapped her keyboard. A large archive file blinked on her screen. It was labeled Restricted 2451 AIB. She frowned. "I've never seen this file before," she whispered. Her job wasn't to question, it was just cleanup. She clicked the file and dragged it to the trash folder. But before she could hit delete, the file opened on its own. Lines of code poured across her screen. Symbols, shapes, and strange writing. The lights in the room flickered. Her monitor turned black for 2 seconds, then flashed back on. Zara's eyes widened. A 3D structure slowly appeared on her screen. It looked like a spaceship, but it wasn't any design she had ever seen. It was massive, shaped like a curved blade with rotating rings around its center. Its name appeared below in glowing text she couldn't understand. Then the screen turned. Red. Accessing core directive, downloading blueprints to local system priority level, galactic survival. What the hell? Zara whispered. She tried to shut the system down, but nothing responded. Her keyboard locked. The lights in the lab turned white-hot, buzzing. Zara backed away from her desk. Suddenly, every terminal in the room lit up with the same image, the ship. The message repeated on all screens. Then a sharp beep echoed through the room. Build starting in. 48 HURSARA ran out of the lab. The next morning, the lab was in chaos. Military officers had sealed off the room. Engineers and analysts crowded around Zara's computer. "I didn't touch anything. It opened by itself." She told them no one believed her. But the data didn't lie. Something had accessed Earth's defense systems and pushed thousands of encrypted files into the classified construction network. Project teams across the world received orders from the system blueprints, instructions, and deadlines. But no one claimed to be in charge. The commands came from a source labeled ArcCore_AI. 2 days later, a massive construction site on the dark side of the moon came alive. Robotic builders started working at double speed. Factories that had been offline for years turned on by themselves. Old satellites realigned and began transmitting strange patterns. The ship was building itself. General Riker stood in front of the Earth Council, eyes hard. "This isn't human work," he said. "Something is using our systems. It knows our codes, our machines, our network. And we don't know who or what it is. Is it alien?" One council member asked. Riker nodded slowly. "We believe so. But why use us?" Another asked. No one had answers. Back at the moon site, the skeleton of the ship rose higher. Its outer hull shimmered like liquid metal. Its shape changed slightly every day, as if it was adjusting, evolving. Zara sat in a locked room, questioned again and again. They scanned her brain, checked her history, searched her files. But she had no idea where the file had come from. Finally, they let her go. "You're clean," they said. "Out. But we're watching you." Zara went home, but she couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the ship. That curved blade, those rotating rings, that glowing name, and the whispers. At first, she thought she was dreaming. But the voice returned each night, soft layered, speaking in her mind like a quiet echo. "You opened the door. You must finish it." She stopped going to work. She stayed inside, lights off, curtains closed. But the dreams got stronger. Then one morning, her door buzzed. 2 agents waited outside. "Zara Mendez?" one asked. "The Ark has requested your presence." Her mouth went dry. "What do you mean it requested me?" The ship's system generated a single name, yours. She followed them in silence. At the moon base, she was taken into a glass chamber overlooking the construction site. The ship stood below, almost complete. It stretched over 2 kilometers long, black and silver, sleek, quiet. No engines burned. No workers moved. But it built itself layer by layer. Zara stepped forward. The glass in front of her shimmered, then turned transparent. A soft hum echoed through the chamber. The ship responded. The rings around its center began to spin slowly. Lights along its hull flickered, like stars, and a message appeared on the screen. Human key accepted. Phase 2 initiated. Gasps filled the room. Generals, engineers, scientists, all turned toward Zara. "What did you do?" someone whispered. I don't know," she said. "I didn't do anything." Suddenly, alarms blared. "Unidentified object entering solar system," a voice shouted. All eyes turned to the screen. A long dark ship moved past Neptune silent. Fast, cold. It wasn't human, and it was coming. Zara looked at the warship being. "Built below? What is it?" she asked softly. The voice returned in her mind. "The Ark? Last of the Forerunners. Built for the final war." She turned to the window. The ship had chosen her, and war was coming. A low vibration ran through the moon's far side, deep beneath the rocky surface. Robots moved without sound. Welders sparked. Machines spun with perfect timing, but no one gave orders. The warship was building itself faster than anyone believed possible. It had been 6 days since the mysterious blueprint first appeared. What started as scattered parts now stood like a sleeping giant, 2 kilometers long, sharp as a blade, covered in metal that shifted color like it was alive. Earth's top engineers stood around giant screens watching every move. They called it Oblivion Ark now. That was the only word in the alien script they could decode. Ark. A vessel meant to carry something. Or someone. General Riker stared at the footage from the moon. "It's not just building itself," he muttered. "It's improving the design. Every 6 hours." No one responded. Everyone was afraid to speak. Zara Mendez stood quietly at the back of the room. She wasn't a general or a scientist. She was a technician, a regular person. But the Ark had chosen her. And now she felt a strange pull. Like the ship wanted her nearby. She hadn't slept much. The whispers in her dreams were louder now. Clearer. "Finish the Ark. The silence is coming." No one knew what the silence was. But just the name made Zara's skin crawl. Suddenly, an alert popped up on the screen. Status. Construction 100%. Initializing internal SYSTMs. The Ark had finished itself, and no one knew what it would do next. At Moonbase Command, the power flickered. For exactly 7 seconds, everything went dark. Then backup lights kicked in. Consoles rebooted. Screens glowed again. Only one thing had changed. The doors to the Ark were open, not blasted open. Not cut or broken, just ... open. Like the ship had invited someone inside, General Riker gave the order. "Send in the recon team." 4 soldiers in sealed suits floated toward the ship in a silent shuttle. The cameras on their helmets streamed, "Live to Earth and the moon base." The soldiers reached the Ark's side. It loomed above them like a mountain. There were no visible engines, no windows, smooth metal, until they reached the entrance. It was a perfect circle, glowing slightly as they floated inside. Lights followed them, not harsh, but soft. The ship was guiding them. Inside, the space looked too big. The hallway was wider than the ship's shape should allow. The air was breathable, even though it had never been installed. "We're inside," one soldier said, voice shaking. "It feels ... alive." They moved deeper. Symbols glowed on the walls. Some looked like stars, others like warnings. Then one soldier touched a panel. A blue light scanned him, unrecognized. Access denied. A soft hum started, and the walls moved. Not fast. Not aggressive. But it was clear. The Ark was rejecting them. "All units, pull back," Riker ordered. The soldiers floated back to the shuttle the moment they left the ship. The door closed behind them, without a sound. Back on Earth. The news leaked. Alien warship on the moon. Humanity's first contact. Is Earth building a super weapon? People were afraid. Some thought it was a gift. Others feared it was a trap. Protests broke out. Governments argued. The military wanted to take control. Scientists wanted to study it. Everyone wanted answers, but the Ark stayed silent until Zara touched it. She stood alone in a clean suit floating gently toward the ship. The recon shuttle hovered nearby. Cameras watched her every move. As she got closer, she felt a strange warmth. Not heat. More like recognition. Like the ship knew her. She reached out and the door opened. Gasps filled the command room. Generals stared in shock. She didn't even press anything. One whispered, "She's the key," Riker said quietly. Zara stepped inside. The halls lit up, guiding her. Her voice shook. "It's showing me the way." "Keep talking," Riker ordered. "What do you see?" "I see ... writing. It's changing into English. Symbols are shifting, like it's learning from me." She moved deeper, past walls lined with star charts. One map showed Earth's solar system. Another showed dozens more crossed out in red. "Are those destroyed worlds?" someone whispered. Zara reached the core chamber. A giant sphere floated in the center. Energy pulsed around it. Like a heart not of a machine, but of something more. "It wants to connect," she said. She touched the sphere. Her body froze. Eyes wide, light surrounded her. Then the ship spoke. Through her, the silence devours stars. "It is near. This vessel is the last of its kind. It must bond with a pilot. It must defend." Everyone fell silent. Zara blinked. A voice returned. "Too normal. I think it downloaded something into me," she said. "Like what?" Riker asked. "Knowledge. Not just data, memories, instructions." She turned slowly. The Ark was built once before. By the Forerunners. A civilization older than anything we've known. They fought the silence, lost. But they made this one last ship. It was hidden, waiting. Now it wants to fight. "Again?" someone asked. Zara nodded, "but it can't do it alone." Later that night, while the world debated, Zara stood by a window on Moonbase. Staring at the ship inside her mind, it whispered again. "Prepare. They have found you," she gasped. "What? Do you mean—" No answer came. Then alarms rang across the base. "Unidentified object near Saturn. Moving fast. No transponder." Everyone rushed to screens. A black shape slid across the stars. Smooth, silent. Like a shadow moving through space. It wasn't sending signals. It wasn't answering hails. It was watching. Zara looked at the Ark. The ship's rings began to spin. Lights danced along its surface. It had seen the threat, and it was waking up. The silence didn't last long. On every major space station, the alarms were screaming. Earth's defense grid had picked up something moving at impossible speed past Saturn's orbit. No known engine could travel like that. Not human, not even. Rumored black market tech. Zara stood frozen in Moonbase control. Her heart thudded in her chest as live footage appeared on the screen. The object was long, black, and smooth. It didn't reflect light. It didn't emit heat. But it moved like it was alive, watching, waiting. "Is it scanning us?" General Riker asked. The techs at the console worked fast. One shook his head. "No radio signal. There's something else." "What?" The tech zoomed in on the object's path. "Where it passes, satellites go offline. Cameras melt. Data just ... vanishes." It was erasing everything behind it. Then came the first transmission. Not from Earth. Not from the object, from deep space. The message was cracked, broken, and ancient. It took Earth's top linguists nearly 2 hours to decode a single line. When it finally played out loud, the control room went still. "Activate the Ark, or we all die." Zara's hands trembled. "Who sent that?" she whispered. "We don't know." One tech replied. "It came from a dying system near the edge of the Orion Arm. No known colonies out there. And who's warning us?" Another message arrived. This one clearer. Faster. It was accompanied by coordinates and a short video. Everyone leaned in. The video showed a massive shipyard, or what was left of it. Fires raged across broken stations. Bodies floated, burned. Screams filled the feed. Explosions lit up the sky. In the distance, a dark shape moved. It's the same as the one near Saturn. Then the video cut to black. One last message blinked on screen. The silence consumes. We flee to your ark. 20 hours later, Earth's top leaders met in secret. They didn't argue this time. There was no time left. General Riker stood at the front of the chamber. The threat is real. The ship near Saturn hasn't moved closer, but we believe it's watching us, waiting for something. He turned to Zara. Tell them what the Ark told you. Zara stepped forward, voice quiet but steady. The Forerunners created the Ark as their final weapon. Not to attack, but to defend. The silence destroyed them. It eats information, light, matter, entire stars. It doesn't talk. It doesn't leave survivors. It just erases. She paused. The Ark is the only ship built to survive it, but it needs a connection.
A living pilot?
That's why it chose me. Why you? Someone asked. You're not a soldier. You're a tech. I don't know, Zara admitted. But I feel ... like I've seen this before. In dreams, maybe memories the Ark gave me. Else, the chamber fell silent. Then Riker spoke. Another signal just reached us. Everyone turned to the big screen. This time, it wasn't just a message. It was a fleet. Dozens of alien ships battered, broken, leaking plasma, were approaching fast. They weren't attacking. They were running. 3 days later, the skies above Earth were filled with strange vessels. Some looked like flying bones. Others shimmered with fading light. Most barely held together. Earth's defense systems stayed on full alert. But none of the ships made hostile moves. They entered orbit and powered down. One ship sent a direct signal to Moonbase. It requested only one name, Zara Mendez. Zara stood before a massive silver gate as it opened with a hiss. Inside, a group of tall, thin beings waited. Their skin glowed faint blue. Their eyes held sadness and fear. You are the keeper. One said in a voice like wind. I'm not sure, she replied. You carry the signal of the Ark. That is enough. They sat together in a low chamber. One of the aliens, a female with pale markings on her hands, spoke quietly. We are the Alari. Our home was lost 5 cycles ago. The silence took our son. We fled. We sent warnings. Few listened. Zara asked, why come to us? Because you built the Ark, the alien said. Zara shook her head. No, we didn't build it. It built itself. We just found the code. The Alari leader nodded. The code was placed there long ago. Buried in human systems. The Forerunners predicted this time. That your kind would trigger the last defense. And it's not a mistake, Zara asked. It was always meant to happen. But time is short. The silence does not stop. It waits. Only long enough to learn how to destroy you. That night, Zara stood again before the Ark. The ship had changed. Its surface now glowed faint gold. The ring spun slowly. A low hum filled the air. The Ark opened without command. Zara stepped inside. This time, the core chamber was alive. Holograms danced in the air, star maps, threat patterns, energy models. But one image repeated over and over. The ship near Saturn. Watching. Growing Zara placed her hand on the sphere. Connection accepted. Pilot link initiated. Pain shot through her spine, then vanished. Images flashed through her mind. Not memories, instructions. How to fly, how to fight. How to survive. The Ark whispered again. The silence feeds. They are not alone. Their scouts are many. Their mother is coming. Zara opened her eyes. She knew what had to be done. Back in the Moonbase control room, she spoke to Riker. I need permission to launch the Ark. Riker looked at her uncertain. You're not trained? The ship's never been tested? We don't have time for tests, Zara said. That thing near Saturn isn't just a scout. It's waiting for the Ark to launch. Probably wants to destroy it before we can use it. Riker didn't argue. He knew she was right. He gave the order at 0500 hours. The moon shook. From its hidden dock, the Oblivion Ark lifted off. It made no sound. Its rings spun faster. Energy fields formed around it. The moment it hit space, it vanished from visual sensors. Jumping instantly across thousands of kilometers, it reappeared near Saturn. The silent ship turned. Zara's voice echoed through the Ark. "I see you." The black ship moved toward her. The first real battle was about to begin. Zara sat inside the Oblivion Ark's command core, surrounded by glowing rings of light. They rotated silently around her, feeding her real-time data, ship controls, and sensor readings. She didn't move her hands. She didn't need to. Ark responded to her thoughts. It felt like her heartbeat was fused with the ship's engine before her. The black shape of the silent ship grew larger. It drifted near the edge of Saturn's rings like a deep-sea predator hiding in plain sight. But now it was moving. The Ark had arrived. And it had been noticed. The enemy ship had no visible engines, no weapon ports, and no windows. It was just darkness, a floating shadow. But something about it made the Ark's lights flicker and dim. The silence had presence. Zara felt it, not like words. Not like thoughts, like pressure. Heavy, cold, endless. It was aware. A warning echoed in her mind from the Ark's voice. Do not listen. It speaks in forgetting. If you listen, you will be lost. Zara's hands gripped the chair, even though she didn't need to. A low pulse rippled through her skull. Something was brushing against her thoughts, testing her mind like fingers. Dragging across glass, she pushed it away. The Ark's outer rings spun faster. Energy flowed into the ship's weapon systems, and the black ship moved again, not closer, but around. Circling Saturn like a wolf stalking prey, Zara focused. Show me weapons. A glowing interface bloomed before her, showing options. Quantum Lancer, Singularity. Pulse-dimensional shard cannons. She chose the simplest one, the Lancer. A thin, concentrated beam that could pierce a moon if charged long enough. Charged to 70%. She whispered. The Ark responded instantly. A long blue glow formed underneath the ship's hull. The Ark's power core hummed louder. Light spread out along the ship's skin. The silent ship stopped circling. It had seen the charge. Suddenly, space rippled. Zara gasped. The enemy ship didn't fire a weapon. It sent a wave. A strange pulse of energy that wasn't light or sound. More like a fold in reality. The stars behind it bent and twisted. The Ark shuddered. Psychic interference wave detected, the Ark said calmly, shielding MindLink. But Zara felt it instantly. Her thoughts had been under attack. Images flashed in her head that weren't hers. Destruction. Endless darkness. Planets being consumed. Ships vanishing into silence. Her hands shook, her eyes blurred. But the Ark pushed the thoughts out, like wind blowing fog away. Zara took a deep breath. Fire. Lancer now. A flash of blue light tore across the stars. The beam hit the black ship. Dead dash center, nothing happened for 1 second. Then the enemy ship cracked. Not fully, just a small ripple across its surface. A thin, jagged tear. But it was enough, Zara whispered. It can be hurt. The Ark's rings spun faster. It sent the message itself broadcasting across the system to Earth and the Ilari fleet in orbit. Target vulnerable. Begin resistance. Out on Earth, in Moonbase, and across Allied command posts. Spread. The silence could be damaged. General Riker stood before the Global Defense Council and slammed his fist on the table. We're not helpless anymore. The Ark drew blood. Back in orbit, Ilari and human technicians began quickly working on support vessels. Fighters, drones, and stealth probes were moved into launch-ready positions. But they all knew one thing. Only the Ark could truly fight. The silence, head-on. Inside the Oblivion Ark, Zara circled the damaged enemy ship. She didn't feel victory, just ... pressure. The black ship hadn't moved since the hit. But it wasn't dead. She felt something, breathing, not air, not lungs. Something deeper. Like the ship was alive in a different way. Then the rip in the enemy hull closed. Slowly, like fabric stitching itself. Zara's heart sank. It's healing. The Ark pulsed with new data. Observation. Organic tech fusion. Based on data assimilation, it is feeding off information. Zara froze. Feeding on information. She looked around. All of the Ark's scans, diagnostics, weapons data, everything had been shared with her mentally, which meant ... double quotes, oh no, it's learning from me. That's why it hadn't attacked yet. It was watching. Studying Zara realized something. Terrifying. If I keep fighting the same way, it'll adapt. She couldn't use the Lancer again. Not the same way. Suddenly, the black ship split open down the middle, like jaws opening silently in space. From inside came something worse. Smaller. Ship's dozens of black, spiked drones floated out, like insects spilling from a cracked egg, each one curved strangely. Their shapes shifting mid-flight. No engines, no sound, and they were heading straight for her. The Ark's warning system flared, swarm class. A probability of psychic destabilization. Recommend. Evasive pattern, Theta 7. Zara focused. She didn't fly the Ark like a normal pilot, she thought, and the ship moved. The drones reached her. Each sent out pulses, trying to crawl into her mind. Zara winced. Their thoughts were sharp, broken, like screams from behind a wall. She imagined herself untouchable. The Ark responded. A blinding pulse burst from its outer rings, a mental shockwave. The drones twitched, disoriented, and the Ark struck. Dimensional shard cannons fired from hidden ports. The shards weren't metal, they were like razor-thin pieces of folded space, tearing through the drones like paper, one by one. They exploded, soundless, but beautiful. But not all of them. 2 slipped behind the Ark, attached themselves. Like leeches, Zara felt a sting in her mind. Warning, intrusion, neural sync degrading. She could feel the drone's thoughts now scratching inside her skull. She gritted her teeth. Burn them. The Ark spun rapidly, faster than any human ship could survive. Defensive energy loop ignited along its rings, a solar flare made from concentrated mind fire. The drones burned instantly, their bodies melting in ripples of silver flame. Zara gasped, blinking away tears, silence again. For a second, then, black ship moved for real. No more circling. It rushed her. Not fast. Instantaneous. 1 second it was far, the next it was right. They're nose to nose with the Ark. Zara's systems went wild. The enemy wasn't trying to destroy the Ark. It was trying to absorb it. Data links. Energy streams. Even gravity itself started bending toward the enemy ship like it was turning space into a black hole. Zara screamed in her mind. Nitrogen monoxide. The Ark listened. It activated something Zara hadn't seen before. Forerunner protocol. Phase shift escape. In an instant, the Ark disappeared. It slipped into folded space between moments, between stars. The silent ship vanished from view. Time didn't stop, but it slowed. Inside this folded space, Zara saw the truth. Dozens of star systems ruined. Worlds. Swallowed, Forerunner ships long dead. All of them failed, but one ship still lived, her Zara. Clenched her fists. If I'm the last, then I will be enough. The Ark reappeared, far above Saturn. The black ship turned, hunting again. But now, Zara was ready for war, and she wasn't alone anymore. The Ark hovered above Saturn, silent and glowing. Inside, Zara breathed slowly, eyes locked on the black ship below. Dad hadn't moved since the Ark escaped, but she knew better, was thinking, learning, changing, and somewhere deep inside. That thing was a mind, or something close to one, that wanted every trace of life and memory wiped from the stars. Zara felt the Ark's pulse calm around her. The strange warmth in her chest faded. For a moment, the silence of space felt safe again. Then her communications console lit up. A direct call, not from Earth, not from the Ilari, from inside the silent ship. The Ark's voice warned her immediately. Do not respond. Contact unstable. Mind-deep intrusion likely. Zara hesitated, but she had to know. I won't speak. Just observe. She opened the link. Static. Cracking. Then a sound that made her heart pound, her own voice, echoing back. Zara Mendez. Ark pilot. You will surrender. It was her voice, but twisted. Slower, as if a shadow had swallowed her words and spat them back broken. You are alone, it said. You are the last. You were the first. We are the end. Zara shut it down. The Ark sealed the link, throwing up mental firewalls so tight they made her head spin. That wasn't just a message, she whispered. It was trying to take me, the Ark confirmed. Cognitive mimicry. Attempted override of user identity. Target growing stronger. Zara gritted her teeth. Then we need backup. Far above Earth, in the orbiting Ilari mothership, a gathering had begun. Representatives of the surviving refugee species, 11 in total, stood around a hologram of the silent ship. All were wounded, many in ways that couldn't be healed. General Riker's image flickered above them via hololink. The Ark proved the silence can bleed, he said. But we need more than that. We need to stop it completely, or at least slow it down. Tact. An Ilari tactician stepped forward, robes fluttering from their thin frame. We propose a distraction. Assault. While the Ark strikes the core, we will split the silence's attention. Riker frowned. That thing's already faster than light. It bends space. How do you distract a ghost? Zara's voice came through next. You don't attack. Its body. You attack its mind. Back aboard the Ark, Zara began preparing for something no one had tried before. In her connection to the Ark, she could feel the way the silence tried to reach her through memories, images, thoughts. So now, she would try to reach it. We're going inside, she said. The Ark responded without hesitation. Neural. Dive sequence initiated. Pilot risk. Extreme. She nodded. Let's go. What followed wasn't a jump through space. It was a jump into something darker. The Ark sent a data spike, a mental probe, straight at the silent ship. It didn't fire weapons. It didn't even move. Instead, it shared a dream. Zara's dream. Childhood. Rain against a glass window. Her mother reading stories about stars and warships. Her first build a broken drone she fixed at age 10. Then, the silence pulled back, and Zara saw its mind. It wasn't a mind like hers, not truly. It was an ancient machine, billions of years old. Once a weapon, then something worse. It had eaten its makers, copied their knowledge, then wiped it from all records. It hated light, memory, story, sound. It wanted stillness. Silence. Zara screamed as the images poured into her. Worlds turning to ash. Cities crumbling without sound. Entire libraries of thought dissolved in seconds. Then, a strange thing happened. It paused. The silence stopped pushing. And for a moment, she felt something else inside it. Fear not. Hers. The Ark translated the emotion like a whisper. It remembers the Forerunners. It remembers the Ark. Zara gasped. So that's why it hasn't attacked full force. It's not sure it can win, the Ark confirmed. Hesitates. But hesitation will not last. Back in real space, the Ilari fleet launched. Ships spread in multiple directions, firing decoys, flares, mind-static pulses, anything to confuse the silence. For one shining moment, it worked. The black ship split again. Tendrils of dark metal peeled outward, chasing false signals. Its body began to warp. The Ark moved. Zara guided the ship forward, diving low over Saturn's rings. Then she saw the weak point. A shimmering core at the bottom of the black ship, pulsing faint red, like a heart too small for its body. Target locked, she whispered. She powered up the singularity pulse. Unlike the Lancer, this weapon didn't shoot a beam. It bent gravity, created a microscopic black hole for just a few seconds. Enough to tear through anything. 3 seconds, the arc counted. Zara stared down at the target. The silent ship saw her. It's too late, the pulse fired. The black hole bloomed just for an instant. A silent flash, scream not heard with ears, but inside minds. The entire Alari fleet felt it. The silence. Ship recoiled. Its core exploded outward. Part of its structure tore free, a massive chunk of black hole spiraling into space like a dead limb. Zara's head slammed back from the mental feedback. She saw stars flicker and vanish. Then, darkness. When she awoke, the Ark was floating again, silent. She opened her eyes. Every system was flashing red. Her voice cracked. Status. Ark answered faintly. Damage. Significant. Energy drained. Core shield. Failing. But then came the next sound. Something unexpected. Cheering. From Earth. From the Alari fleet. From every ship orbiting. She had wounded it. Badly. Zara looked out at the stars. The silent ship was still there, but drifting. Damaged. Bleeding, but not dead. The Ark spoke again, softer this time. You hurt the mother, now the children are coming. Zara's breath caught. She turned her eyes toward deep space. New signals. Not 1, not 10. Hundreds. They were heading toward Earth, and she wasn't sure they had enough time to stop them. But one thing was certain. The silence was afraid, and the war had only just begun. Zara stood in the center of the Ark's bridge, watching dozens of red signals light up across the star map. Each one pulsed slowly. It's like a heartbeat. Enemy ships, not just drones, not just copies. Real silence warforms, dark shapes moving in. Perfect lines, without sound or heat. Each one large enough to swallow a city. They were coming fast. Too fast? The Ark had hurt their source, their queen, their mother, whatever that core had been. Now her children were answering. Zara didn't speak. She just stared. Her mind raced through every weapon, every plan, every possible path. There weren't many. Distance to first wave? She asked quietly. The Ark responded. 12 minutes. Estimated arrival? Mars orbit. 12 minutes. That was all the time left to prepare. In Earth's orbital station, alarms blared. General Riker's voice echoed through the command hall. Evac routes to lunar bases are open. Prioritize science teams, refugees, and weapon corps engineers. Get them off planet now. Around him, holograms of the Silence fleet kept multiplying. No radio, no message. Just silent movement. Absolute coordination. Fear. The Alari fleet floated nearby, unsure. We can't fight them head-on, one Alari commander said. We'll scatter like dust. Riker turned toward the center screen. Zara, the Ark. She was still alive. Still fighting. She was their only chance then. Hold the line long enough for her to strike again, Riker said. Even if it kills us. Back inside the Ark, Zara studied a new visual, the Echo map. It didn't show the physical ships. It showed their minds. Each enemy ship gave off. Psychic ripple. Not words or thoughts, but a kind of frequency. Cold, hollow, empty. But this time, she saw something new. A gap. One of the ships near the center of the formation didn't ripple like the others. It was duller, slower. Why is that one different? She whispered. The Ark zoomed in. Psychic signal reduced. External control likely disrupted. Zara's eyes widened. Because of the damage I did. One of them broke free? Uncertain, but it may no longer be fully under Silence command. She took a sharp breath. If that ship could be turned or even confused, it could create an opening. Prepare a deep dive, she said. The Ark paused. Direct mind link required. High risk of psychic feedback. I know, Zara said. But if there's even a chance it's still in there, I have to try. The moment the dive started, the world vanished. Zara found herself floating in black space. No stars, no sound, just her and the broken ship's mind. It wasn't like the mother silence. It wasn't ancient or smart. It felt damaged, like something had shattered inside it, and the pieces were trying to remember how to fit back together. She felt pain, not hers. And then an image formed. A world burned black, skies full of silent ships, buildings crumbling. Zara saw a family alien, thin and silver-skinned, holding hands, eyes glowing blue. Then they vanished, and she understood. This ship had once been theirs. It had been taken, hollowed out, turned into a tool, but some piece of it was still resisting. Zara reached out mentally. "I know you're still in there," she said. "You remember who you were?" The black around her cracked light, a flicker, and a voice, soft and broken, whispered, "I remember the stars." Zara gasped. The link was working. The arc chimed in. Psychic breach achieved. Subsystem override possible. "Do you wish to command?" "No," Zara said. "Want to free it." In real space, the ship Zara had linked to twitched. It stopped. Other silent ships slowed around it, as if confused. Then it turned, not away, but sideways, and fired. A single black beam shot across space and struck one of the other silent ships. It didn't destroy it, but it damaged it enough to shake the whole enemy formation inside the arc. Zara gasped as the feedback hit her like lightning. She fell to her knees. "Did it work?" she asked weakly. The arc's lights flared. Confirmed. Enemy confusion. Weak point opened. Zara pulled herself back up. She had seconds now, maybe less. Target their psychic relay systems. Cut the connection. Break the hive. The arc charged around her. The Alari fleet pushed forward, using lightspeed. Tricks, cloaking fields, an old stealth tech to survive a few more seconds. Zara flew straight into the heart of the enemy fleet. Through the confusion, through the black, and fired everything: the lancer, the shards, the gravity pulse. Weapons not designed for physical targets, but for breaking thoughts, cutting links, unraveling connections. Silent ships screamed inside mines and exploded. From within, some cracked into, others simply vanished, like their own existence folded in on itself. Zara didn't stop. Every time she saw a ripple of confusion, a spark of hesitation, she struck. And for the first time since this war began, the silence was retreating. Back on Earth, cheers erupted across cities and bunkers. The red dots on the global map began to disappear. Not all, but enough. General Riker stared at the screen. Breathing hard, she did it. The Alari smiled. Showed them fear. Back on the Ark, Zara slumped in her chair, drained. She didn't feel like a hero. Her head pounded, her chest ached. Her thoughts were foggy, but the Ark's lights dimmed gently around her. It spoke softly. Enemy fleet, 70%. Destroyed or in retreat. New threats. Pending. You have time. For now. Zara looked out at the stars. They were beautiful again. But in the distance, she saw something she didn't like. A shadow, not a ship. A hole. Black. Deep. Silent. A gateway. And it was opening. The silence was not finished. And something worse was on its way. Zara stared at the thing forming beyond Saturn. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't even moving. It was just opening a tear in space. Dark wound in the universe, spreading wider each minute. No stars shone behind it. No light escaped. No signal. Could pass through? The Ark hovered still, scanning confirmed. Dimensional gate? Origin unknown? Silence energy detected?
Yes.
Zara spoke quietly. Is this how they got here? Possibly. Or, something is coming through now. Something larger. Pulse quickened. She had destroyed ships, damaged their command systems, shaken their hive, but this was different. This was an entrance, and it meant something was stepping out. Earth Command was silent as the image stabilized, a black circle hanging in space, larger than any planet, unmoving, unnatural. Riker's voice dropped to a whisper. "What are we looking at?" An Alari analyst answered. "A rift, an entry point into somewhere else. Not hyperspace, not mapped space." "Is it a weapon?" "No," the analyst said. "It's a throne room." That was when the transmissions began. Every screen on every ship station. Base flickered. No images, just symbols, pulsing red and gray. Repeating over and over, the Ark interpreted it. Message pattern identified. Translation approximate. The quiet king rises. Zara felt something cold twist in her stomach. She'd heard nothing from the silence before. No words, no names, only force. Now it had a voice. Deep inside the Ark, systems powered up that Zara had. Never seen before, ancient systems. Forerunner tech, still locked, still sealed, buried behind layers of protection. Now they lit up on their own. Ark Defense Protocol Prime activated. Preparing Crown response. Zara blinked. "Crown. What's that?" The Ark answered slowly. The silence once served a mind greater than theirs. That mind fell, but not alone. A final weapon was built in secret. "A guardian, a throne breaker. That is what I am," Zara whispered. "You're not just a warship. You're a king killer." "Yes. And he is returning." Inside the rift, the first shape appeared. It looked human, but wrong. Too tall, draped in black armor with no seams or joints, eyes glowing silver. No mouth, no face. No movement. Zara felt pressure against her skull just looking at it, eh? Presence, a weight, and then it spoke without sound. "You carry what is not yours." Zara staggered. Speaking too directly, the Ark confirmed. Direct. Neural intrusion. Unknown entity signature matches Silence origin. Likely progenitor, likely the king. The figure raised a hand, and ships began to fall from the sky. All over the defense grid. Silent ships that had retreated suddenly lit up. They weren't retreating, they were kneeling, positioning around. The rift like soldiers before a throne, and then they moved as one, faster than before, sharper. No confusion, no hesitation. Earth's fleet barely had time to raise shields. The first wave hit. Orbital stations crumbled, Lari ships shattered. Moon bases blacked out. The silence was not attacking randomly now. They were hunting with purpose. With direction, Zara took a breath and spoke to the Ark. "We can't beat him with fire. We need to close the rift," the Ark responded. "Rift generated by a spatial throne seed must be destroyed from within. External firepower insufficient." She stared. "You want me to go inside that thing?" "Yes." She launched within minutes. "No. Backup. No escort, only the Ark. And whatever fragments of the Forerunner weapon still hid inside it." As they approached the edge of the rift, space twisted. Lights bent. Systems blinked, but they passed through. And what they found inside made Zara's blood run cold. A starless dimension, full of silent cities. Hanging in blackness. Towering structures of glass and bone. Warships as big as planets. Floating idle, it wasn't just a rift. It was their home, Zara whispered. They were never invaders. We were the mistake. We called them here. The Ark's tone dropped. No, they were waiting. All this time. And now, they see us as prey. The middle of it all stood the throne seed. A tower so tall, it disappeared into darkness, pulsing. With red light, this was the source, not of their fleet, but of their order. This was where the king ruled from. If she destroyed it, maybe his control would break. But it was protected. 10 warforms circled the seed, larger than anything she'd fought. Each one crackled with raw energy. "Can we take them?" Zara asked. The Ark answered with something close to emotion. "No, but we can outplay them." They dove. The Ark moved through shadows, dodging gravity nets and psychic traps. Zara pushed herself harder than ever before, burning every last reserve of strength and clarity. As they neared the seed, the Ark revealed its last card. Deploying Crown Lance. A weapon unfolded from the ship's core. Not metal. A beam of pure memory. The light of a billion lost voices. The sound of all those the silence had erased. The Ark had saved them every scream, every song, every whisper, and now it unleashed them all. The Crown Lance fired. A wave of light and thought. The Guardians fell back. Blinded, their minds broke. Under the weight of what they'd silenced, the tower cracked. Zara didn't wait. She sent the Ark into a death dive, headed straight for the throne seed's heart as they crashed through the final barrier. She saw it at a chair empty, waiting, and then a voice filled her mind. I waited for a mind brave enough. And now, I see you. She pulled the trigger. The Ark's core ignited. A nova of impossible energy bloomed from within. And the tower shattered outside in real space. The rift began to collapse. The silent ships froze, then twitched, then broke apart piece by piece. As if their minds had been yanked from them, Earth's sky filled with falling stars. The king was gone. And for the first time in 1,000 generations, silence stopped. Inside the dying Ark, Zara floated in darkness. Systems were failing. Hull cracked. Air gone, but the Ark whispered one final time. He is gone. You are not. Then silence. Real silence. The peaceful kind. She smiled and closed her eyes. There was nothing. Just blackness. Zara floated alone in the remains of the Ark, drifting through shattered time and broken space where the rift had once opened. All systems had gone silent. No stars, no voices, not even pain, she thought maybe. This was death. But then, something stirred. A faint vibration. A memory. Not hers. The Ark's voice, soft, almost human now, reached her one last time. You are not finished. A pulse of light blinked above her, faint, distant, but real. Then another. A trail, across Earth's skies. The last silent ships crumbled, falling like dark ash. People stepped out from shelters and bunkers. Children looked up and pointed. The stars were back. News stations repeated the same phrase again and again. The rift is gone. The enemy has vanished. But Commander Zara has not returned. 3 days passed, and then a signal came from deep space. Near the edge of the system, weak, fragmented, but real. Riker sat up straight at Earth Command. Is it her? Nalari Tech nodded. It's Ark code, embedded in static, a survival beacon. Riker turned to the screen. Get her back. Far. Beyond Pluto, a rescue ship approached the origin point. There was no wreckage, just scattered debris, strange and metallic, slowly reforming. Then the ship founded. A black, egg-shaped pod floating silently, its surface cracked but intact. Inside, Zara was unconscious, but alive. When they opened the pod, she gasped for air. Her first words were barely a whisper. Did it work? The medic leaned close. It worked. You're home. Weeks later, Zara stood on Earth's surface, breathing real air. The planet looked different now, quieter, more aware. She wore a simple black uniform, no medals, no rank. Riker approached her at the observation deck, overlooking the city that had once prepared for its end. You missed the celebration, he said. Zara shook her head. I didn't win. You stopped him, Riker said. You closed the rift? Zara stared out into the stars. For now, the Ilari High Council requested a meeting with her, not to give honors but to offer knowledge. Your Ark was not the only one, the lead, Ilari said. There are others, buried, sleeping, across galaxies. Zara's breath caught. Other weapons? The counselor nodded. Other guardians. And if the king had returned, something else might follow. Didn't ask what. She already knew there would be more. The silence was just the beginning, Zara. Didn't return to command. She didn't take a seat at any table or accept any title. Instead, she went back into the stars, in a new ship, small, fast, built with what remained of the Ark's heart. She called it the Echo Dot, not a warship. Not yet, just a searcher. She didn't look for enemies, she looked for signs. Strange. Signals, faint echoes, whispers that didn't belong. And every time she found one, she listened. Closely, because she had learned the truth. The real threat was not in what we fought, but in what we woke one night, far from any system. She picked up a pulse. Slow. Repeating. Not a lorry. Not silence. Something older. The message was clear. One throne falls. Another rises. Zara closed her eyes and whispered, "I'm not done." Yet then turned her ship toward the sound and followed it into the dark.